Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 718th Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. Now, just to say, in this battle, I'm going to take you back in time to the year of 2005. Okay, I've got a notebook from 2005-2006 regarding RTW, and in that notebook I found a Seleucid army. Okay, and what I've done is I've bought this Seleucid army to this particular battle, and it may well be the first time I've used this army since maybe 2005-2006. So, as I say, I'm going to take you back to 2005-2006 here with this Seleucid army, which we will look at a little bit later on. Okay, right, our first teammate is Brotherhood member JGP. Now, JGP has got 6 chosen swordsmen, 5 head hurlers, 6 chariots and 2 woad warriors. Okay, so if we have a look here, you'll see he's got his chosen swordsman there. Remember, these guys have got excellent morale, like urban cohorts. He's also done a very wise thing here. He's bought a druid unit. Now remember, barbarian morale is very, very poor, so if you bring a religious unit, that really helps your troops to fight longer. So it's always a good idea to bring a religious unit when you bring a barbarian faction. So that's a good move by JGP. And there you are. I'm just trying to find where the woad warriors are, just in case some of you may not have seen a woad warrior unit. There you are. That's a woad warrior unit. They're quite tough. They're not as good as a chosen swordsman, but they are quite tough infantry. Then we've got the infamous head hurlers here that can bring a really devastating firepower onto enemy troops. Remember, those heads are effective against armor and can be absolutely devastating. And then he's gone for the barbarian warlord chariots. Now remember, the Brits have got 2 lots of chariots. They've got the heavy chariots or the barbarian warlord chariots. Now the heavy chariots are cheaper, but they've only got 3 hit points. These barbarian warlord chariots are dear, but they've got 5 hit points. And I've experimented with both, and I would always recommend bring the barbarian warlord chariots. Those 2 extra hit points really do make a difference. So there's a tried and tested JGP Britannia army. Be interesting to see how he uses it during the course of the battle. Okay, our next teammate is Brotherhood member Mantu. Now Mantu's got 15 Sacred Band Spearmen and 5 Slingers. Okay, if you have a look at the upgrades on his units there, you'll see they've got 8 upgrades, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. And as I say, he's got 5 slingers there, but if you notice, no cavalry. Okay, so he's gone for no cavalry in this particular army, so it'll be interesting to see how he does with that during the course of the battle. Okay, our next teammate is Brotherhood member Barclayman. Now Barclayman has also got 15 Sacred Band Spearmen, but he's got 2 slingers and 3 cavalry. He's got 2 slingers and 3 cavalry with his army, and remember, this is his faction of choice. And if we have a look at the upgrades, you'll see he's got some of his units have got 8 upgrades on, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. And other units have just got gold shield, gold attack on. So he's got staggered upgrades through his infantry there. And a quick look at his cavalry there, and he's just got gold shield, gold attack on his cavalry. So that's a tried and tested Barclayman faction of choice army there. And notice there are 2 Carthage armies in our team. Very unusual to have 2 Carthage armies in our team there. And as I say, our last teammate is myself here, who's bought this 2005 Seleucid army. Okay, as I say, I may not have used this army since 2005. I can't remember the battle formation, or what kind of battle formation I've used, so this is going to be purely experimental. Okay, and we're going to come back and have a look at the battle formation a bit later. As I say, from the notebook, I've got all the units there, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. So here we've got a very diverse team. We've got Britannia with JGP, we've got 2 Carthages and Seleucid. This should be a cracking battle for you to watch, and I feel it's an epic. Okay, at this stage of the battle, I thought I'd show you my experimental battle formation for Seleucid here. As I say, the notebook had the units in and the upgrades on each unit, but it didn't show me any kind of battle formation here. So as I say, this is an army from 2005, and I'm just really experimenting with different battle formations for this very old army. And if any of you experts at playing with Seleucid could give me some tips on a good battle formation, then please do. Right, as you see here, I've put two of the big 121-man pike units as pilot shield units there, because I thought, well, if they suffered pilot damage, there's still going to be a lot of them left there, you know, even after they've suffered pilot damage. And of course, because they're pike units, they should stop any direct cavalry attack coming in on the battle formation. So that's the thinking behind putting those two pike units out the front. Okay, and then to be just behind them, I've put a silver shield legionnaire unit there in open order as well, to soak up any additional pilers that come in as well. So I've got 3 units in open order, 2 pike units and a silver shield legionnaire unit there in front of the main battle formation. Okay, and then I've got my silver shield legionnaires there, as you can see, but also here I've put another pike unit just behind the pilot shield units there. Okay, and that's going to be, so if we're attacked by cavalry, if those units are taken out at the front, I've still got another pike unit there to help protect against cavalry attack there, as you can see. As I say, I've got those silver shield legionnaires there, but if you notice, I've got pike units at the rear of the battle formation as well. And what I was thinking was, if enemy come round the flank, then I can turn those pike units to face cavalry or infantry if the enemy do come round the flank there with cavalry or infantry. So as I say, this is the first time I've used this army since 2005, and this is a really experimental battle formation. If you notice, I've based it a little bit on my Roman battle formation there, as that seems to be quite successful for me. So I'm just going to try that battle formation here with this Seleucid army. But as I say, I'm taking you right back to 2005 here. As I say, from the notebook that I've got from 2005-2006, this is the army with a tick against it. So it'd be interesting to see how well it does the first time I've played since then. And here is the other team. We have Brotherhood member Canary, who has got 6 spearmen, 8 archers, 2 horse archers, and 4 cataphracts there. So there's his horse archers there. Okay, they can be very effective. They're armoured as well, so they're pretty tough. And there's his 4 cataphracts. Quick look at the upgrades on his cataphracts. And 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh, fully upgraded cataphracts. 3 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. Remember, we call these guys the tanks of the ancient world because they're armoured from head to toe, and they can be pretty tough there. So it's pretty good cavalry he's got there. Let's have a look at his infantry here. There you can see he's got his spearmen. Remember, those spearmen are pretty good. They're obviously anti-cavalry because they're spearmen, but also you'd be surprised on how good they can hold up infantry as well. So it'll be interesting to see how well they do during the course of the battle. And look at his archers there. He's got 8 archers. So he's brought a lot of firepower there. So it'd be interesting to see how he handles that Armenian army during the course of the battle. Okay, their next teammate is Brotherhood member Aurelius. Now, Aurelius has got 14 pikes, 2 chariot archers, and 4 heavy chariots. If you have a look at the upgrades of his battle formation there, you'll see that his forward units have just got 3 upgrades on, which I'm guessing going to be gold defense. And then we move back into the first line of his battle formation, 7 upgrades there, an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack. But the rest of his units behind that forward units, those forward units, have got 8 upgrades on, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. So that's a pretty good battle formation there with staggered upgrades through it. Then we go to his chariots. Remember, we've talked about these before. Really good attacking specifications, great morale sapping abilities, but if they run amok, they kill both friend and foe alike and become a menace on the battlefield. And they really are a double-edged sword. And I would advise people to really think before you bring chariots, because, as I say, they can be an absolute menace to both teams there if they run amok. Okay, their next teammate is Brotherhood member Steve Longshanks. Now, Steve's got 12 Spartans and 6 archers. Okay, 12 Spartans and 6 archers there. That's a tried and tested Greek cities army of Steve's there. And their last teammate is the host of this battle, Brotherhood member Crypto. Now, Crypto has got 10 pikes and 10 Cretan archers. Okay, 10 pikes, 10 Cretan archers, no cavalry. Notice how he split his Macedonian army into 2 there, and look at the firepower he's got with those archers. I think that'll make up probably for having no cavalry. Should be a great one to watch. Okay, at this stage of the battle, we're going to have a look at the missile troops on both teams here. Okay, so you can see that Crypto's got 10 archers there. Okay, Steve has got another 6, so that's 16 elite Cretan archers there for just those 2. Okay, so that's 16 archers so far. Then Pontus has bought 2 chariot archers. Okay, so that takes it up to 18 archers so far. And then Armenia has bought another 8 archers. So that gives the enemy team 26 archer units. Okay, now the only reason I'm counting these is because this could prove pivotal to the outcome of the battle. Okay, so they've got 26 archer units in their team. Now let's have a look at what we've got in ours. Okay, this old Seleucid army of mine, I've got no archers at all. So I've got no archers there at all. Let's have a look at... this is Barclay Man's. He's got 2 slingers. Okay, and Man 2, I believe, has got 5 slingers. So that's 7 slinger units. Okay, between us. And let's see, and our Britannia ally, I believe, has got 5 head hurler units. So altogether we've got 12 missile troops, right? 12 slingers and head hurlers. Okay, and the enemy have got 26 archers, foot archers and chariot archers there. So with the missiles that they've got, if you look at our factions, all our factions on our team are very susceptible to archer damage. That's why the other team have bought 26 archers. And as I say, that could prove pivotal to the outcome of the battle. Okay, at this very, very early stage of the battle here, you will see Crypto taking his archers and pikemen forward there. What he'll be trying to do is trying to shoot our Britannia ally as he is moving his troops over to the centre there to team up with his teammates. You'll see that Steve's running his archers forward as well. Remember, those Cretan archers have got long range, and as you can see, both Steve and Crypto there have got those long range archers there. And over here on the other flank, you'll see that Aurelius has got his chariot archers there shooting into our Carthage ally already. You'll see that. So obviously you can see the tactic here of the enemy team is to use their massively superior archer numbers against our troops before we even get into hand-to-hand fighting, which is a really good tactic for their team there. Remember, they've got 26 archers against our 12 slingers and head hurlers. So there you are, you can see those Cretan archers already shooting into the flank of our Britannia allies units there as he's trying to run over to the centre there to team up with his teammates. So as I say, remember the enemy team, 26 archers. Okay, there, and that's a big advantage they've got over us. As I say, I think we've got, something like 7 slingers and 5 head hurlers there. Right, let's just pause the game for a second there. So as I say, you can see we're all moving over, our team is moving over to the left here because I believe we were going to target Armenia. Okay, so you'll notice that we're all running over to the left at the moment there, trying to target Armenia. But Canera is pretty good general there, so I shouldn't think you want to stand and fight there. You can see that Armenia general there is a little bit isolated from his team, but he's running over as fast as he can, and I think that's why we thought we would target him, because he looked a little bit isolated. As I say, you can see us all moving forward. Here you can see our slingers being used there against those chariot archers. Remember, slingers do better against chariot archers than foot archers do. And as I say, you can see us moving over here, our whole team there, towards the Armenian army there, because as I remember in this battle we were going to target Armenia. But as I say, you can see that the Armenian general Canary there will be keeping his units out of reach of getting into a battle with us there. And you can see don't forget, he's got fully upgraded cataphracts, 3 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack there as well. So we need to watch out for those cataphracts because they are pretty tough. And here's a nice little move here by Barclay Man, trying to get those archers with his cavalry there. Nearly bashed into him there. But unfortunately, when you do that, as you pull away from those archers will start shooting you in the back. And you can start losing a lot of men there. Now look at the volume of arrows coming in on those cavalry units there of Barclay Man's there. It was a good move trying to hit those archers, but you do suffer if you don't make the contact with the archers there. As you pull away, they will turn and start shooting you in the back, as you've just seen. Just look at that trail of dead Carthage cavalry there. So that's always a problem when you do charge at enemy archers there. But as I say, you can see the enemy have teamed up over there. You can see the Greek cities, Pontus and Macedon, have all teamed up there. And I thought to myself, it's a brave man to bring Britannia against 4 pike and spear factions. You know, because as we know, Britannia being barbarian troops would die quickly on spear and pike factions there. So I thought JGP bringing Britannia was quite a brave move there against, as I say, 4 pike and spear units there. And as you can see here, as I say, I think the enemy plan here will be to use their 26 archer units very effectively before they even get into hand-to-hand fighting. Make no mistake, they will try and weaken our units. What they'll probably do is take out our short-range slingers quite quickly, and then they'll move on to concentrating onto our infantry with those long-range archers, which would be a really good tactic, I think, for the enemy team there. At the back there, you've got those chariots of our Britannia ally JGP going after or chasing off those Pontus chariot archers there, and I think chasing off those Armenian horse archers as well. Right, let's pause the game for a second here. Just look at how the enemy have set out their archers. Look at those 8 archers there of Armenia, ready to start shooting loads of arrows into us there. And then, of course, you've got the Cretan archers of Crypto there, his 10 there. And, of course, you've got Steve's archers there as well. So, as I say, they've got 26 archer units there against our 12 slingers and head hurlers there. So, obviously, they're going to outrange us by miles. And they could, as I say, those archer units could prove pivotal to the outcome of the battle. Let's say over here at the rear, you'll see that JGP is using his chariots there, those barbarian warlord chariots, to chase off the enemy chariot archers and horse archers there. So that's a good tactical move by him to do that. So good move there by him. And as I say, we're moving our slingers forward, of course, because our slingers are so outranged by the enemy archers there. We've got to get in close to, as I say, get into range there. And of course, they're just shoot us to pieces there as we try and move in close to shoot at them. So, as I say, my guess is they'll take out our slingers and then they'll move on to our infantry there. Just look at that line of slingers there. Look at this unit, 81-man slinger unit that reduced to 5 men already. Just absolutely, they're absolutely decimating our slinger units here. Now we're going to have to make a choice a little bit later on here, or quite quickly now, looking at our slinger units getting taken out. Are we going to stand around and just wait to be shot to pieces by the enemy troops, or are we going to attack? Okay, now that's a decision we're going to have to make pretty soon here. Here you can see Barclayman bringing his couple of slingers forward as well, to try and take out as many of the archers as he can. But as I say, we're going to have to make a decision soon, because make no mistake, after they've taken out our slingers, they will then concentrate their archer fire onto our infantry. Remember, all our factions, the infantry, are susceptible to archer damage. So, as I say, we need to be very thoughtful in our tactics on what we're going to do next. As I say, I think JGP is doing a good job with his chariots there, chasing off the horse archers and the chariot archers there. But just look at the volume of archer fire we're going to have to put up with here. Look at that. Oh, that long line of archers there shooting into our slingers. I think it won't be long for our slingers to go down, and then they will, as I say, they will concentrate on our infantry. What they will want to do is weaken our infantry before we get into hand-to-hand fighting. Of course, that would be a really good tactic for them to use their superiority of archers there. They say our slinger units are doing okay, but against the volume of arrows coming in on there, I shouldn't think they're going to last very long. There's another little Barclayman doing another cavalry hit towards the enemy archers. Even if he doesn't make contact with them, he might disrupt them there. But you can see the enemy team has spotted that and are moving their pikes in, ready to neutralise that. Here you can see him moving. He was going to hit there, look, but then that unit routed there. Got frightened by all those enemy units moving towards them there. But as I say, pretty soon we're going to have to make a decision. Are we going to stand around and get shot to pieces, or are we going to attack? You can see the Armenian general that has brought his archers in even closer to us here. Look, for more impact, more damage. So we've got to make a decision here: attack or stand around. As I say, you can see we're starting to move forward now. I remember in the team we said we need to attack, otherwise, you know, we're just going to be, the battle would just be over pretty quick, because we'll be decimated by archer fire. Right, let's just pause the game for a second here. So as I say, you can see Barclayman moving forward there, but all the time he's moving forward, he is being shot by those archers there. You can see Man 2 moving forward as well. He's moving forward towards the Macedonians there. Let's say Crypto split his army into two. You can see two lots of 5 Macedonian pikemen there, as our Carthage allies moving forward. Now you notice here how Barclayman is moving forward towards those Macedonians, but look at his flank. Can you see there that the Greek cities there and Pontus there could move round to his flank? So if you notice, I'm moving my Seleucid army over there to protect Barclayman's flank as he's moving forward. Okay, you can see him moving over there as he's moving forward there. So you can see that Barclayman's going to crash into those Macedonians in front of him. But as I say, the Greek cities of Steve or Pontus could come round his flank. So I'm now going to move my Seleucids over there to protect his flank as he goes in against those Macedonian pikemen. So it'll be interesting to see how well this Seleucid army is going to hold against that those troops there. As I say, you can see Man 2 moving the bulk of his infantry forward, but if you notice here, he's throwing some units over to the left there towards the Armenian faction there, maybe looking to hold them up while he moves most of his infantry in against the Macedonians. Okay, that's what it looks like Man 2's looking to do there. Okay, but make no mistake here, we're going to attack now. As I say, we're not going to stand around and get shot to pieces. It looks like all our slingers have been killed now, so now the enemy archers will just concentrate on our infantry. Right, can you see this is a good move here by Crypto? Can you see he's put his 5 Macedonian pikemen there with their pikes down? Okay, can you see that? Because those 5 Macedonians, what he's hoping to do with those long pikes is to hold up our Carthage ally here, okay, while his archers can shoot the Carthage, fighting Carthage troops to pieces there as they're being held by those Macedonian pikemen. Okay, so that's a good move there by Crypto there. As I say, hold and pin the Carthaginians there as the archers shoot them to pieces. That's what I think he's thinking to do there. Of course, we know that Carthage punches above its weight against these 121-man units. So, under normal circumstances, I think Carthage would punch a hole through those Macedonians, but with a volume of arrows coming in on them, that could make things a little bit different there. Let's say, if you look closely there, look at the length of those Macedonian pikes against the short spears of those Carthaginians. But as I say, Carthage does punch above its weight when it comes to fighting these 121-man units, so Barclayman may well do well here against those Macedonian pikemen. But just look at the volume of arrows going into him. There you are, you can see Man 2 advancing as well there towards that pike, those pike units of Cryptos there. So you can see him moving forward there. And over here on our left flank, as I say, you can see Man 2, he's now pushing the Armenians back there with those 5 spear units there, backed up by JGP's warlord chariots there. So that's a nice move there by the two of them. They're keeping Armenia maybe out of the scrap for a little bit there, enabling us to move forward. You can see you've got the Britannia infantry there. Now he may well move either over there to help against Armenia, or maybe he might try and help against the pikes. But remember, barbarian troops die quickly on pikes and spears. You can see my Seleucid army there is covering Barclayman's flank against the possible Greek cities and Pontus attack. But look at Steve's archers in close tight formation for more impact and more damage, shooting volumes and volumes of arrows into the flank of our Carthaginian allies there as they're attacking the Macedonians. So as I say, the archer advantage that the enemy team have got could prove very decisive in this battle. Okay, now here you'll see that my Seleucids here are holding the flank here. I've got Pontus pikemen moving towards me. Remember, those Pontus pikemen have got high upgrades, good upgrades there, and you can see the Spartans moving in as well. But there's a nice bit of support there by Barclayman. He's brought some of his Carthage Sacred Band spearmen across as well there. But you can see the archer fire going in there from Steve's troops. Right, now you'll see the head herders moving forward of JGP, okay? Because what he's noticed is that, of course, the Macedonian pikes are stood still now, fighting the Carthaginians, but the volume of arrows coming in on his head herders could cause them to mass rout. If they suffer casualties very quickly, like a shock, like they can mass rout. So it'll be interesting to see there. See, what he wants to do is bring them up here and start firing those heads into those Macedonian pikemen there. You see, that's what he wants to do, but he's being shot to pieces by those archers there, as as you can see there. So the head herders are being brought up deliberately here to try and start shooting those arrows, start to throw those heads into those Macedonian pikemen there, but the volume of arrows coming in from those Cretan archers could well cause them to mass rout when they start suffering casualties very quickly. And there you can see, let's just pause the game for a second there, you can see them starting to rout already. Right, this is a good bit of support here from Barclay, man. He's brought some of his Carthage Sacred Band over to help neutralise the Greek city attack. And there you can see all those Pontus pikemen, those well upgraded Pontus pikemen there. 14 of them pushing in on my Seleucid army there. So it'll be interesting to see if that old Seleucid army can hold against those Pontus pikemen. But as I say here, look at the head herders, look at the numbers in those units are routing already because of the amount of men they've lost in a sudden shock of the arrows hitting them, causing them so many casualties. It shocked them so much that their morale's not very good and they've routed. So the head herders there not doing very good. But what I want to show you here is something interesting. Can you see there's a big gap between Crypto, the last of Crypto's pikemen, and his Armenian ally? Look at that gap. Okay, and if you notice, the Armenian allies moving his spearmen over there, maybe to neutralise the chariots, or maybe to attack the Carthage Sacred Band spearmen there. So he's moving away, widening the gap there. So there's a gap in the enemy battle line there, and there's a soft area there with just archers in. Now what I'm thinking is there, if we could smash through that soft area, you see I'm moving my cataphracts over. Remember it, battlefield awareness. We've talked about this a lot in the past, battlefield awareness. Now if I could get my cataphracts there, plus with that Britannia army, infantry there, look, we could then move forward through that massive gap and get in behind the enemy troops there. Imagine my cataphracts and that Britannia infantry getting in. We could then smash into the back of those engaged Macedonian troops or hit those Macedonian archers there. Okay, so that's what I've spotted there, and you can see that I think our Britannia ally has as well, JGP as well. As you can see, the Armenian troops are fighting over on that left flank against a man-2 spearman there. They're concentrating on that, but through doing that, look, they've opened a massive gap there in the enemy battle line, which is what we are going to take advantage of if we can. Okay, so there you can see my cataphracts already moving over here, and you can see our Britannia ally starting to move his infantry forward as well. Okay, now remember that if the Britannia chariots and my cataphracts team up, that is a massively powerful attack there. And here you can see, right, this is great movement here by JGP. His battlefield awareness is switched on as well. Look at the gap, as I said, between Armenia and Macedon. A massive gap in the enemy battle line there for chariots and my cataphracts to charge through. Look at that massive gap there. Now we get our chariots and my cataphracts through there, and we can get in behind the enemy troops and maybe cause a mass rout. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to smash through that hole in the enemy battle line here. You can see our Carthage allies there are pinning and holding the enemy troops there, those Macedonians. So if we get in behind them, we could cause a mass rout here. And as I say, our Carthage allies doing well there against Greek cities as well. And as I say, I've got those loads of Pontus pikemen pushing in on my old Seleucid army, and you can see those chariots there of Aurelius there. Those 4 chariots, he may well bring them in behind my Seleucid army and smash into the back of my army there with those chariots. Okay, so we just have to watch that. That's an ongoing situation there. And as I say, Steve's got those archers there. Make no mistake, they are absolutely really causing us loads of casualties there, shooting into the flank of our troops there. Causing us massive damage, as these Macedonian archers of Crypto will be causing us massive damage as well. So as I say, here we found a gap in their battle line, a big gap as well, that both the Britannia chariots and my cataphracts are going to take advantage of there and try and smash through that soft area there where there's just archers there. Can you see? And now we're coming through here. As I say, a chariot and cataphract attack can be absolutely devastating and really powerful there. So as I say, we're now going to get in behind the enemy troops now. With the chariots, and there you can see there's a little bit of lag in this game because there's so many pike and spear factions that some people's computers can't deal with that very well, and it causes a little bit of lag there, as you can see. I hope that doesn't spoil too much for you there. But as I say, you can see that both our chariots and my cavalry smashing into those enemy archers there. But for me, the main thing is to get in behind those enemy troops and rout them those troops there. Okay, so let's just pause the game for a second. So as I say, both chariots and my cataphracts have broken through there, have gone through that gap that the enemy has set up, if you like. And there we can see now that we've routed a lot of those Macedonian pikemen there, and all these troops now are freed up. Look, and we're going to start rolling up the enemy here from left to right. Can you see how a lot of those troops are starting to rout now? And we just got to start hitting them hard and routing. Those Greek cities of Steves could be a problem for us, but the way we're rolling up the enemy troops, that's good news. And as I say, over here, my old Seleucid army is still seen to be holding quite well against that massive pike attack by the Pontus general there. Now, just like to show you something here, a good tactic here by Aurelius. Do you notice he's got his chariots in behind our troops? Okay, he's not attacking. If you notice, can you see they're just idle? If you look at the writing, can you see they're idle? They're not doing anything. But they actually are doing something, believe it or not. What they're actually doing there is sapping the morale of my troops, making them more susceptible to routing. If you look closely, can you see there? Look, see, frightened by chariots. Okay, even my general unit, frightened by chariots. Look, if you notice, I've turned the general unit to face backwards there, look, for just in case a chariot attack does come in. And then another unit of mine that you see, once again, frightened by chariots. So those chariots are looking like they're not doing anything, but actually are sapping morale away from my troops, making them more susceptible to routing. So he's not throwing those chariots in where he might get those chariots killed. He's just leaving them there to sap the morale from my troops. So as I say, you can see Steve's Greek city Spartans there, ready to push in there. But as I say, we're doing really well. We've routed most of the Macedonian pikemen there, and a lot of their archers as well. So as I say, it's a mass chariot and cataphract attack here that we've just, as I say, pushed through that gap in the enemy battle line there. And now if we play this properly, I'm thinking we could start rolling the enemy up from left to right. Look at all our troops, our Carthaginian allies, moving their troops up towards the Spartans as well. So as I say, they're a nice hit there by JGP's chariots into those archers as well there. You can see Steve turning some of his Spartans to try and neutralise those archers there, but he's already lost a lot of his archers there from the chariots. Right, let's just pause the game for a second here. So as I say, here you can see our Carthage allies and our cavalry and chariots there really doing a good job. Now, Mantu was doing a good job on that left flank. He was holding up Armenia there with his units, but he's just lost those units, including his general, being shot by arrows, look, having those spear units coming in from both flanks and then getting smashed by those cataphracts. But he's held Armenia up for quite a long time there, allowing his teammates to take out a lot of the enemy troops there. Okay, but now all these troops here, all these Armenian troops and those Pontus chariot archers there can now be brought into the fray, and they will be coming in behind us. Okay, so we need to watch out for them as we're starting to attack the enemy troops there on the other flank. Okay, there's a lot of enemy troops now moving in on us. Okay, as I say, I'm very pleased with that old Seleucid army still holding really well against that Pontus attack there. But look, can you see some of those Pontus pikemen are really making inroads into my Seleucid army? Look, can you see there? Really making inroads in, but still my Seleucid army is still holding there against Pontus there. Now you can see Mantu's brought some of his Carthage units up to support my Seleucids against this massive attack by Pontus and those Spartans. If you notice, there's Spartan units attacking me as well. Look at those couple of Spartan units routed by Barclayman's Sacred Band units there. So if we could take out Steve's units here and the Pontus units before Armenia could get over here, then I think we've got a good chance of winning this battle. Now, if you notice, our Britannia ally there is facing Armenia. That's what I'm thinking that he's going to do with his infantry. But if I remember correctly, our Britannia allies units were exhausted at this time of the battle. We'll have a look a little bit closer at that in a minute, I think. But as I say, if we could take out the Spartan units here, then I think there would be a good chance of us going on to win the battle there. But Steve's he's a canny general with Spartans, and it used to be his faction of choice, Greek cities there, so he's very good with them here. As I say, you can see both the chariots of Britannia and my cataphracts there taking out a lot of the enemy archers. Okay, but at the rear of the battle there, you'll see that Armenia is starting to move towards us now. Okay, you can see the chariots there. Chariot archers out there as well. Right, let's pause the game for a second here. Right, so here's our Britannia ally here, but look at his units, they're exhausted. Okay, so that means their battle proficiency has fallen off the edge of a cliff, their morale would be as low as it possibly can be, and if they get hit by enemy cavalry especially, there's a good chance they could mass rout. Okay, so as I say, you don't really want to fight with exhausted troops, tired troops, or very tired troops. He's got his druid unit there to give his troops extra morale, but with them being exhausted, I just worry if they get hit by enemy cavalry, they're going to rout. And they're the ones where we're relying on to hold Armenia up, to let us finish off the rest of the enemy troops here. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Okay, so at this stage of the battle, you'll see I've decided to charge my cataphracts into the rear and flank of Pontus there. Can you see? I'm coming in from that flank there to smash into the flank of those engaged Pontus troops with one lot, and I'm coming in from the other side there with 2 units of cataphracts there, because we know Pontus morale is pretty poor, and what I was thinking was, if I could get a few of those units to rout, we may well get a mass rout going there. So if you notice, I'm hitting Pontus from 2 separate directions, a bang and bang, they smash in there. And what I'd like to see, I was hoping to see a lot of Pontus units starting to white flag and rout there, but unfortunately it doesn't look like that's going to happen. There's a few Pontus units starting to rout. I need to pull my cavalry back out now. I don't want to stand there fighting pikemen there with my cavalry there. But we've routed a few of the units, including a couple of Greek city units that were attacking my troops as well. So yeah, we've done. It wasn't too bad. It's cost me a few cavalry there, but we have routed a few of those Pontus units there. Maybe I could lock and load and charge back in again. Now, unfortunately, we know we looked at our Britannia allies units were absolutely exhausted. We looked, they're being smashed by enemy cavalry and chariots as well. And it wouldn't surprise me if that whole Britannia lot of infantry there mass routed there, because as I say, they were exhausted. And you can see all those Armenian cataphracts and spearmen being brought into the fray now. And that's not looking very good for us. Pause the game for a second there. So we've got all those Armenian spearmen there. We've got Armenian cataphracts that are fully upgraded. We've got all the Armenian archers coming in there. Plus we've got Pontus heavy chariots moving in as well. So things not looking very good there with them coming in behind us. As I say here, Barclayman trying to take out as many of Steve's Spartans as he can there. We've got JGP's chariots there riding around the battlefield, attacking different targets there. But as I say, things not looking very good with those Armenians coming into the fray in behind us there, as you can see, and they are coming in mass, and those archers are already starting to shoot into the rear of our troops there. So as I say, you can see that those Armenian troops starting to come in behind my Seleucid army there, and as I say, you can see a lot of our Carthage allies spearmen there starting to be routed there, unfortunately. You see how Steve's moving his Greek city units in. There's a group of 4 of Barclayman's spear units there being attacked from the front and the rear that are starting to rout. And as I say, you can see all this Armenian cavalry coming in. Remember, those cataphracts, as I said before, are fully upgraded, 3 experience strikes, gold shield, gold attack. So as I say, this old Seleucid army of mine still managing to hold against Pontus. But if you notice, I've got good Carthage support there by Man 2. He's got some units there. You can see I'm charging my cavalry in like a bang. My cavalry unit smashing there, trying to take out this Pontus army. If we can take out Pontus, I can then turn my Seleucid army to face those Armenians coming in behind us, is what I was thinking there. So as I say, good support there by Man 2 with some Carthage units there. as well as my Seleucid units, and there we are. We've routed most of the Pontus pikemen there. Okay, so as I say, nice support there by Man 2, brings some of his spearmen over there as well. So now I can turn my army to face those Armenians coming in there, and also Man 2 can face that threat coming in with his spear units there as well. Now we've taken out most of the Pontus pikemen there. But as I say, you can see that Armenian infantry coming in behind us there. Unfortunately, we seem to be losing a lot of our Sacred Band units against Steve's Spartans there. So that's bad news for us. And as I say, over here you can see there that we've managed to rout the Pontus general as well, which is good news for us. So now we can turn all our troops now to face the Armenian troops coming in on us. So that's good news for us. You can see I'm turning my Seleucid army now to face those Armenians coming in on us. There, you can see there, and you can see some chariots coming in there as well. They've charged some of their chariots in there, but as I say, you can see my Seleucid army facing the threat of those Armenians coming in on me now. Let's just pause the game for a second here. Okay, so a heck of a lot of our Carthage allies units have been taken out by the Spartans there, and a combination of Spartans and cataphracts smashing into them as well. Plus there's archers shooting into us as well. As I say, we need to watch out for those fully upgraded cataphracts. You can see a lot of Steve's Spartans are left there as well, but here you can see Man 2 bringing some of his spear units over, maybe to counter the Spartans there. Plus, don't forget, we got the Britannia Warlord chariots here with a massive fear factor and attacking specification that they've got. Now I've got some Seleucid, very battle damaged Seleucid cavalry left yet, as you can see. Okay, they are very battle damaged. So what I'm thinking is, if I bring them over to say here, okay, that's what I'm thinking, bringing those battle damaged cavalry over here and then smash into the back of those engaged spearmen of Canaries there in a hammer and anvil attack, my infantry being the anvil and my cavalry being the hammer. That's what I'm thinking there. You can see that Armenian infantry really moving in on my Seleucid infantry there. Okay, so over here it looks like the last of Barclayman's Carthaginians have been taken out. You can see Man 2 bringing over his battle damaged spear units there to try and counter the Spartans there. Okay, but you can see here that Armenian spear infantry really pushing in on my Seleucids there, and you can see I'm moving my cavalry across here with a view to smash in, but I need to be careful of those Armenian cataphracts as well, because they could well counter-attack me as I smash in there. Get ready for this, and bang, as we smash in there with my cataphracts. But you can see the enemy fully upgraded cataphracts smashing into my cataphracts there, and bang, as they charge in there as well. Okay, what I think I need to do now is try a surge attack with my Seleucid army here. Now you can see I'm starting to surge attack there with all my infantry into that Armenian infantry there. Can you see how I'm surging forward with both the Silver Shield Legionnaires and the Silver Shield Pikemen there, trying to rout those Armenian spearmen that I'm up against? Can you see how my infantry, as I say, surging into those Armenian infantry there, really pushing in there, trying to rout those Armenian infantry there? That's what I'm really trying to do there. But I am very aware of those cataphracts riding around the battlefield there, ready to smash into me. Oh, that's good news. Okay, so we've managed to rout the Armenian spear infantry there. That's good news for us, but bad news here. I think most of our Carthage Sacred Band units have now been taken out. Okay, you can see that now. Most of the Sacred Band units of our allies have been taken out. Let's pause the game for a second. Now we've got all these cataphracts riding around the battlefield here, plus chariots as well. I'm looking to smash into my Seleucid troops there. Make no mistake about that, that's what they're going to be looking to do. And don't forget also these Armenian archers here in close tight formation for more impact and more damage. Look, will be shooting into my Seleucid army as well. Okay, so as I say, at this stage things not looking very good. As I say, Steve Spartan, he hasn't got a lot of Spartans left, but he's taken out most of our Carthage allies spear units there. Okay, so things not looking very good for us here. As I say, those Armenian archers are shooting into us. Right, here comes the cataphracts. This could be the final charge of the game here. Right, pause the game for a second so you can see all these cataphracts smashing into my Seleucid infantry. Okay, now if you notice here, I've got my general unit and a couple of other units facing the Armenian archers there head on to try and minimize the archer damage that they're causing. But I need to turn those units to face those cataphracts coming in on me now before they hit me. Right, I need to turn. Just done it, I think. I've just done that. Just turned in time, but bang! As those cataphracts smash into my Seleucid infantry. Now, bearing in mind, okay, I'm being shot in the rear. Look at the pressure that my infantry's under by those Seleucid, by those cataphracts of Armenia. Plus, and I'm being shot in the rear by all these archers firing into the rear of my engaged units. So surely my Seleucids are going to rout now, and you've got the chariot effect there as well. So as I say, and they've got the Spartans going to be coming in on us as well there. Now they've taken out all of our Carthage allies' spearmen there. But just look at that massive hit of Armenian cataphracts there. Look how they're pushing into my Seleucid troops there. And as I say, I'm being shot in the rear by Armenian archers as well. But we managed to hold, just managed to hold there against that massive Armenian cavalry attack there. Just managed to hold. But all the time, as I say, those Armenian archers are shooting into the rear of my troops there. And I would think one more cataphract attack there would just about finish my troops off. I think my troops might be the only ones left in our team now. I'm not sure. There, it looks like that could be, although there might be a couple of Britannia chariots left there. But as I say, look at the cataphracts, look at Steve bringing his Spartans over, plus the Armenian archers, as I say, shooting into the rear, plus you got the chariots firing arrows into us as well. I mean, oh my gosh. And you can see there that the cataphracts have moved round in different directions now. They're going to hit my Seleucids from different directions, as I say, and then the Spartans are going to move in as well there. So as I say there, you can see our Britannia allies there just lost his general there, so he's now routed. So I think it is just my Seleucid troops left in our team. But look how the Armenian general's moving his cataphracts around there, ready to charge in from different directions. And then Steve's Spartans ready to go in. Right, here comes the first attack on my general. Look, bang! As they charge in there with those cataphracts. And still I'm managing to hold there, and some more cataphracts coming in from the other direction. And bang! As he charges in. Oh my gosh, I'm still managing to hold, but here comes the Spartans. And don't forget those arrows are coming in as well. I mean, my units are just about going to rout, I would think, at any time there. And there we go. That's the last of my Seleucids there. I thought for a 2005 army, they didn't do too bad. I don't know what you guys thought. I thought, yeah, quite good. Right, so there you are. Well done to the enemy team there. The other teams that played extremely well. But if you look at the battlefield, it is massive. You can see it starts off with the dead over here on this left flank. I think this is where Mantu was holding up Armenia as long as he could there to keep them out of the battle, allowing the rest of us to try and take out the other enemy team. And then we move across here. If you look here, you can see a line of Macedonian dead there, where the Carthaginians were doing so well against them there. You can see, look at that massive line of a Macedonian dead there as we move across the battlefield. And as we move over here, you can see the intensity of the fighting here. More dead there as we move across. As I say, it was a really massive battlefield. There was stuff going on all over the battle here, all over the battlefield here. You can see piles of dead here as well, lots of cavalry there. As I say, you can see the red cloak Spartans, as we talked about before. They always show up, don't they, on the grass battlefield or on snow. Look at this for a mass lot of dead here. I mean, oh my gosh, you can see how many dead. As I say, wherever you look on the battlefield, there are just rows and rows of dead soldiers there. It just goes to show how intense the battle is. Now, do you think this would be a close battle or not? Do you think it could be average? Look at this line of slingers here, taken out by the enemy archers. As I say, don't forget the enemy had 26 archers against our 12 head hurlers and slingers. So yeah, you can see that there was a big advantage there. Okay, so right, I'd just like to say really well played to everybody in the game there. I thought everybody played really well there. And as you can see, it was an average defeat. I thought it would have been a close defeat, but it was an average defeat there. And the highest kills in the game goes to a 2005 Seleucid army. 1,911 kills. So resurrecting a Seleucid army from 2005 with an experimental battle formation there, I thought didn't do too bad. I thought, I'm very pleased with that Seleucid army there. I might try to persevere with that a little bit more maybe. But yeah, I was very pleased with the kills from that army. And as I say, from 2005, not bad. So well done to Crypto, got some good kills with Macedonian there. Bearing in mind that we routed him from behind, he did well. Well done with Steve, got some really good kills there. I think his Spartans took out all our Carthaginians towards the end of the battle there. Well done to Aurelius, got some good kills there with his Pontus. And well done to Canary there, coming in with his Armenians there at the end. So really well played, guys. I thought you all had some really great kills there. And as I say, very pleased with that Seleucid army of mine. But well done to Barkley, man. Possibly didn't get the kills that he wanted to there, but I thought he played very well. He did very well. Good supporting all over the battlefield there. And well done to Man 2, got some really good kills. Nice support for him as well all over the battlefield. And JGP obviously didn't get the kills that he wanted to there, but I think his exhausted infantry at the end, and plus his head hurlers were shot to pieces before they could do anything effective as well by the amount of archers the enemy team had. So sad there that he didn't get the kills that he wanted to. But as I say, I wanted to show this battle just to show that resurrecting a Seleucid army that I very, very rarely play with from 2005 with an experimental battle formation there, managed to get the highest kills against really good players as well. So I'm really pleased with that, and I hope you enjoyed this unusual battle, and a very diverse battle as well. Look at all the different factions. A really interesting battle, I hope, and I'll see you soon.